So welcome. On behalf of the Door County League of Women Voters, we thank you for taking the time to come and hear the candidates seeking to represent District 9 and District 10 of the Door County Board of Supervisors. My name is Tammy Grossman. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Door County and tonight's. Before I introduce the candidates, I want to point out that candidate Philip Rockwell will be participating by Zoom tonight. He is out of state on a family trip that was planned before the league was asked to hold this forum. We thank technical support specialist Spencer Gustafson and the Sturgeon Bay School District for making it possible for Mr. Rockwell to participate via Zoom. With that, let me introduce the candidates. Candidates for District 9 are Amy Austad Labott and Ryan Shaw, and the candidates for District 10 are Alexis, Heim, Peter, and Philip Rockwell. The league thanks all of the candidates for agreeing to participate in this forum. In a few minutes, they will introduce themselves. We also want to thank the Sturgeon Bay School District, especially high school principal Mr. Keith Nerby, and the technical specialist Stephen Gustafson for their help in organizing tonight's event. At this time, I would like to read a land acknowledgement statement. Door County, along with the lands our facilities and parks are located on, is the ancestral homeland of the Menominee Nation. Currently, there are 11 recognized Native American sovereign nations in Wisconsin. We acknowledge these indigenous communities who have stewarded this land throughout the generations and pay respect to their elders past and present. Candidate forums are one part of the Door County League's mission to inform voters about candidates and elections in a civil, unbiased, and nonpartisan manner. The League's forums are not an endorsement of any candidate. The views expressed are solely those of the candidate and not the League of Women Voters of Door County. The League is nonpartisan and never supports or opposes any political party or candidate. However, we are also a political organization dedicated to encouraging and promoting good government through informed, active participation at all levels of our democracy, local, state, and national. More information about the League can be found on our display table outside the library or by visiting our website, League of Women Voters, or lwvdoorcounty.org. Tonight's forum is being recorded and will be available as soon as possible on the League Door County website and on the Sturgeon Bay School District webpage. We encourage you, candidates, and the public to spread the word. Forums consist of your anonymous written questions and candidate responses. On these question cards, which are available outside the door to the library, you can write down your questions. We encourage you to ask questions about topics of concerns. Questions must be relevant to the position of Door County Supervisor and must be to all candidates. A question posed to only one candidate will not be used. Please use a separate card for each question you ask. As you finish writing your question, raise your card and runners will pick them up. Questions must be worded in a way that is unbiased and concise. Our question screeners will select questions covering a variety of issues. League screeners will review questions to eliminate redundancies and improper questions. If the screeners do not understand the question, it will not be asked. If used, questions will be asked as they are written. A copy of all submitted questions will be sent to the candidates after the forum so that they can see the range of issues you've raised. Finally, the League of Women Voters of Door County prides itself on organizing and moderating forums that are fair and nonpartisan. We expect and have never been disappointed that candidates and the public will conduct themselves in a civil manner. We know that code of conduct will be upheld here tonight. At this point, we will begin the forum. I want to remind our audience that there should not be any flash cameras, video cameras, or other visual or sound recording devices used during the forum, except for the press and media forum sponsor. A reminder to the candidates, you may not use any audio or video from the forum in or for personal or commercial advertising or promotion. Because this is a forum and not a debate, the candidates may only speak about and for themselves, their positions and ideas, and not reference each other. We ask the audience not to respond to candidates' questions. There should be no comments, cheering, jeering, clapping, or any form of demonstration. The candidates have agreed to the following guidelines. Candidates will introduce themselves in 2-minute opening statements. Each candidate will then be given up to 2 minutes to answer each question. Each question will be posed to all candidates. However, a candidate may decline to answer any question. Each candidate will then have up to 2 minutes for a closing statement. The first speaker was determined by lot, and the order of speaking will then be alternated. Candidates, please note that the timekeepers will signal when you have 30 seconds remaining in your response, and again when it is time to stop. We ask that you conclude your thought and stop when signal. We will ask questions until approximately 7:45 or until we run out of questions. Candidates will then make their closing remarks. We are now at the openings. Now we are now ready to hear opening statements from the candidates, and we will begin with Ms. Austad Labott.
Good evening. First of all, I just want to thank the League of Women Voters for having this forum, as well as Dan Powers for putting it together, and Sturgeon Bay Schools for allowing us to use the library. And again, appreciating everybody in the audience for taking time out of their busy schedules to be here for this forum. My name is Amy Austad Labott. I currently live in District 9. I've lived in District 9 pretty much all my life. Little stint away when I went to college and had a different job. I currently own 4 businesses in Door, Kewaunee, and Outagamie County. And I feel that it was time to give back to my community. My father served on county board for over 40 years. And when he retired 2 years ago, I wasn't quite ready, didn't have the time to be able to step into office. And now I think it's time for me to step into office. And that is why I'm running. Thank you.
Mr. Shaw.
Hello, everyone. I want to begin by thanking the League of Women Voters for putting on this forum, the other candidates for being here, and to all of you for taking time to engage in our local democracy. My name is Ryan Shaw, and I'm a proud resident of Sturgeon Bay, married to a wonderful public school teacher, the dad to one of the coolest 8-year-olds around. And when I'm not serving on county board, I work as a comprehensive community services skills worker, supporting individuals and families right here in our community. Serving as District 9 Supervisor has been a true honor. During my time on the Health and Human Services Board and Judiciary and Public Safety Committees, I've worked to ensure that we deliver essential services while also being responsible with our taxpayer dollars. I'm running for re-election because I believe that county government works best when it listens first. I will continue working to lift up and amplify all voices of Door County residents. I'm also committed to protecting what makes this place special: our clean water, our environment, and the health of our communities. These aren't just policy issues. They're about the future that we're leaving behind for our kids. At the end of the day, this work is about people and making sure that every resident feels heard, supported, and proud to call Door County home. I look forward to the conversation tonight and to sharing ideas for a strong future for all in Door County.
Ms. Heim Peter.
Hi, neighbors. My name is Alexis Heim Peter, and I'm excited to run again for Door County Board of Supervisors District 10. After 2 years dedicated to growing my family, I feel called again to serve our community. I believe our community deserves strong leadership and creative problem solving as we navigate a future that serves our current and future generations in Door County. My commitment to County Board is based on 3 values: community, accountability, and collaboration. These values guide my service to work for fair and equitable decision-making. I am running to be a voice for working families who are trying to build a life here, for neighbors who want safe communities, strong public services, and a local government that reflects our shared values. I believe that it is important to be an engaged Door County resident, and having the flexibility, resources, and loving support of my family, I am proud to put that effort into local government. No matter the seat, no matter the community, elected positions are expected to weigh every side of every issue and balance tight local budgets, and find the compromise for today that gets us to tomorrow. As a county board supervisor, I would be accountable to you whether we agree or not. I am accountable to the work of hearing you out. The work brings me an immense sense of community and accountability to our shared goals. My own perspectives, which I look forward to sharing with you all tonight, are formed with experience, consideration of diverse perspectives, asking hard questions, and considering impacts outside of myself. I ask constituents to hear from me tonight and decide if my vision for a hopeful, engaged, and creative board matches yours for a future Door County.
Mr. Rockwell.
Good evening, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum, and to everyone here for taking time to stay informed. I'm Philip Rockwell, running for re-election as Door County Supervisor for District 10. I'm a husband, a father of 3, a carpenter, and a local business owner. I was born and raised in Door County, graduated from Sebastopol High School, and my family has called this county home for generations. When I was young, my parents owned Esquire dry cleaners, and I spent my summers helping on delivery routes across the county. That's where I started learning the value of hard work and what it meant to serve your neighbors. I've carried that with me through the years in the trades and into running my own business today. It also showed me just how important local businesses are and working families are to this community. Over the past 2 years of serving on the county board, I've had the opportunity to be part of projects that matter to our community. I've also seen firsthand how important it is to be responsible with taxpayer dollars and to make our decisions that reflect the needs of the people who live and work here year round. This is a nonpartisan role, and I don't see myself as a politician. I'm a carpenter and a business owner. I believe people should get what they pay for, and that the same mindset should apply to county government. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I will continue to show up, do the work, and make decisions based on what's right for the community. And at the end of the day, I'm just a dad with a little gray hair trying to do the next right thing. Sorry about that.
Okay, the first question will go to Mr. Shaw. What do you think are the priorities for your district and the county in general?
Thank you so much. There are a lot of priorities and a lot of challenges facing Sturgeon Bay, Door County, Wisconsin, the United States of America, all of us. I don't pretend that I, Ryan, as a supervisor, am going to be able to fix every single one of those problems. But what I can promise is that I'm going to fight hard for all of you, right? So some of the issues and challenges that I see facing this community directly are maintaining a high quality of life. To me, that encompasses a couple of different things. You'll hear me a lot tonight talk about maintaining our clean water and making sure that our environment is protected for generations to come. I've talked a lot over the last several months on this campaign about the importance of our county in strengthening its environmental strategy and updating that to make sure that we are protected from contaminants, chemicals, and issues that we might not know about yet when it comes to those types of things, right? I'm also not unaware of the housing issues that we all face. Again, I alluded to the fact that there are a lot of challenges that we as a county are facing that are also happening nationwide, right? So one of the things that I've talked a lot about over this cycle is I believe that we as a county need to connect our housing issues, not being so siloed. Sturgeon Bay has an approach. Egg Harbor has an approach. Sevastopol has an approach, right? So what I'm wanting to do is work collaboratively across the municipalities to work on these problems. So those are a couple of the big issues that I think we face. Thanks.
Ms. Heim Peter, what do you think are the priorities for your district and the county in general?
Yeah, thank you. So I think we all hear a lot about the workforce. I feel that's an umbrella of workforce development. We're a peninsula covered on 3 sides with water, and we have some unique challenges that come with that. We become pretty self-reliant as a community, though. So when we do things together. And so right now I feel like one of the priorities for the county should be helping each other. And that means like workforce development. And so as a working mom and on the county board, I would be prioritizing workforce and childcare, low housing, that kind of thing. But I also want to talk about the county employees as a workforce as well. So some of my priorities as a county board supervisor, that would be overseeing some of the budgeting and the staffing budgets. We need some of those positions filled as well so that we can continue to be providing high quality services for our folks. So yeah, and we'll talk a lot about some other issues as well, but I think the biggest ones right now are workforce, and that includes our county workforce as well. Thank you.
Mr. Rockwell, what do you think are the priorities for your district and the county in general?
Thank you. I feel that infrastructure is big for our county. Infrastructure, not meaning the bridges or anything, meaning that we have a community of aging adults that continue to come here. People move here on the regular. We have younger people that work for those people that have nowhere to live. I think that is one of the big things that really needs to be hit in Door County, because people that work here just can't afford to live here anymore. They have to live in Green Bay or somewhere else. It's kind of sad. So having some of those bigger problems ironed out would be something high on my priority list. Thank you.
Miss Austad Labott, what do you think are, I'm sorry, Mrs. Austad Labott. What do you think are the priorities for your district and the county in general?
I think in our district, Sturgeon Bay, the county as a whole, housing is a huge issue, and affordable housing is a huge issue. Housing, the lack thereof of affordable housing in our county is causing problems. It's causing people not wanting to move here. It's causing workforce not having the ability to live here and work here, which is creating issues finding good help, reliable help in our city and in our county. So I definitely feel that housing is probably one of the biggest issues that is on the docket right now.
Thank you. All right, question number 2, and we'll start with Ms. Heim Peter at this point. Since county board meetings happen in the morning, do you have any ideas for how the board can conduct meetings at times when more citizens could participate or even consider becoming an elected member?
Yeah, thank you. As a working mom and as somebody that took on the role in 2019 and early on, that was a big thing I had to navigate. I am fortunate, like I said earlier, to have a day job that is flexible and allows me to take the time and work around that. But I want to use that position on the board this time. I hope to expand access for other working communities and pull other folks up with me. If elected, I am committed to making board service and attendance accessible and attractive to more working folks. I feel like we need to fill seats and have more competitive elections, and that means having meetings that are at times when people can attend, or just having it. Yeah, I wish they would do more of we have like Zoom, and like people are used to that too. So looking at the rules again for, remote attendance, and then also moving the meetings to night. The city council here in Sturgeon Bay had done that a couple years ago, and it seems to be running pretty well. So I think we could follow a similar model that would work for Door County. Thank you.
Mr. Rockwell, since county board meetings happen in the morning, do you have any ideas for how the board can conduct meetings at times when more citizens can participate or even consider becoming an elected member?
Yes, thank you. I do. Right now we Zoom all of our meetings, but we only record the county board meetings. So none of the committee meetings are recorded. With myself being a supervisor, and I do work also. I don't have the time to sit and watch every one of those meetings myself, so it leaves me with questions also, which I don't think that I should have any of those questions just because of lack of information. So the big thing for me would be to record those and make those available to everybody so that they can see as it happens, how the people are reacting and how they're speaking while they're speaking it. Because sometimes it just doesn't come out right in the minutes. The minutes don't reflect, the minutes come out a month late. So right now, it'd be really nice just to get started with the one thing. And I've already talked to them. They do have the capacity to store all of that. So it's something that's being worked on. It takes time. Thank you.
Miss Austad Labott, this is Austad Labott. I'm gonna stop doing it.
That's okay. Either one is fine.
Since county board meetings happen in the morning, do you have any ideas for how the board can conduct meetings at times when more citizens could participate or even consider becoming an elected member?
Well, I think when COVID hit, it changed our world and changed the way we do things, the way we communicate. There are so many more avenues now to be able to participate in forums, in county board and city government all over that I don't think we could in the past. So I definitely think Zoom is an option for people, definitely having the meetings recorded so people can stay in touch. Like I said, there's all forms of communication out there that I think will allow people to be able to participate in county board.
And Mr. Shaw, since county board meetings happen in the morning, do you have any ideas for how the board can conduct meetings at times when more citizens could participate or even consider becoming an elected member?
Thank you so much. I think a lot of us have, the three people before me were able to address some of the big things that we all are thinking about. To me, one of the areas that we haven't explored enough is shifting the meeting times to an evening. But I don't think it needs to be every single month. It needs to be shifted. I think it would be reasonable that we start with once a quarter. We shift our meetings to the evening. That allows for the people that are attending, because I can speak now after 2 years of serving on the board, there are quite a few people that do attend these meetings. The league does have regular representation there. All of the regular county board meetings are recorded. So there are opportunities. But I think the expansion to find more areas for us to explore is where I think we are lacking. So to me, I think shifting once a quarter to an evening meeting allows a lot of other people to be able to be present. And one of the things that I think is really important that we touched on in the question was how do we get more people stepping up to run for office? And I think things like shifting some of these times and making sure that candidates are aware that zooming into meetings is an acceptable option is something that's really important as we move forward. I think there are, well, of the 21 seats, I believe there are 5 contested elections. That means there's 16 people or 16 districts in this county that don't have contested races. I view contested races as an opportunity for myself as a supervisor or a candidate to improve myself, to make sure that I'm pushing to be the best supervisor I can for all that live here. Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on to part number 3, and Mr. Rockwell will be starting with you this time. Should the county government help to increase affordable housing, and how could that be done?
The county government and housing. I think the way that the county government should work with housing is best left to the cities or the townships. I think the county needs to be very supportive when it does speak with them about ways on how to do that. I think we can make some rule changes to make it more easily accessible to build our small homes, our tiny homes. We have laws that aren't really working for us in that. So I'd like to get those cleared out of the way so that we can see on our end actually get something done. If we're going to talk about the county building houses, not a good idea. Thank you.
Mrs. Austad Labott, should the county government help to increase affordable housing, and how could that be done?
I think the way the county can help increase affordable housing is put proper procedures and policies and laws into place to be able to help the municipalities create affordable housing and maintain affordable housing, to have more. And like I said previously, this is, I think, a huge issue in our county just because it sprawls across not only affordable housing, but it goes into workforce. It goes into jobs and positions and businesses that are in our county.
Mr. Shaw, same question. Should the county government help to increase affordable housing and how could that be done?
Thank you so much. Yes, the county does need to work on helping with housing. As I alluded to earlier, this is a nationwide crisis. It's not just folks in Sturgeon Bay talking about this, or Ellison Bay talking about this, or Green Bay, or Milwaukee, or Florida, or Chicago. It's everywhere. So this is an all hands on deck moment. I alluded to earlier how I want to start working across municipalities and connecting all of us to make sure that we are understanding as a county what the individual municipalities are needing and wanting. We have a lot of history as a county of having cross-government agreements that we as a county are able to work with, say, Sturgeon Bay or Sister Bay or Ellison Bay. But there is a housing authority that exists that is doing some work, but the county needs to get more involved because we have an aging population and Door County can't continue without the proper workforce housing. We need to attract young families to live here. We need to explore zoning. We need to, hello, Wilson. We need to explore zoning. We need to explore those tiny houses. There are a lot of people that want to think creatively about how they live. A new generation is thinking differently about that. I speak with many friends how we would love to have a little area that we had tiny houses and then a communal home that we were able to share. But with our zoning as it exists, we couldn't even dream of that. So it is time for the county to get to work on housing. Yes, yes, it is.
Ms. Heim Peter, same question. Should the county government help to increase affordable housing and how could that be done?
Thank you. Yeah, all of us up here tonight, and I'm sure all of you out there know that workforce housing or housing in general is the issue that the county is facing. The county, when I was on board 2 years ago or a few years ago now, the Shoals project in Northern Gore, we were a partner with that. I think the key role for the county though, because we do have so many people that are working on this and helping be partners with whether it be the Housing Authority or Destination Door County or DCEDC, all of these partner organizations are recognizing this issue and trying to find their solutions. I think that enough people are trying to invent the wheel and the county government needs to find a role as a partner, as a supporter, as a conduit for any sort of public funds or tax credits, you know, those sorts of programs. So again, one of my campaign values has been community collaboration and accountability. So that collaboration part here, I think, is really the right role for the government rather than being the driver or trying to come up with their own programs. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to question 4, and we'll start with Mrs. Austad Labott.
Did Philip answer?
He was the first one.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, Phil.
Little cheat.
That's okay.
You. Okay, I should not. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Austad Labott. What are 2 or 3 core principles you would apply when making decisions and voting on issues before the county board?
2 or 3. One, I guess, would be, or I shouldn't say guess, first of all, would be listening to the constituents. And everybody's opinion matters. And I think that's the big thing, to make sure that I'm listening to the voters and taking their opinion with me in the decision making. I think my experience and my knowledge and my background in my businesses, I can also bring forward. And I think that's a big thing that would help in my decision making.
Mr. Shaw, what are the 2 or 3 core principles you would apply when making decisions and voting on issues before the county board?
Thank you. Um, the first thing that I would say is the most important thing as a representative of the people is making sure that you speak with people, especially about these large issues. So the most important thing to me when there is anything that I'm considering is constituent support. The second thing that I think that is really important for us to think about is the long-term impact of any project. Not just thinking about, oh, is that going to be a win for us right now? Because we've had some of those in the county that if you do that and maybe 5 years later, we're in some regret. So I want to make sure that when we're thinking about these projects, we're thinking about 1, 2, 5, 10, 30 years into the future and making sure that these big projects that we're doing have a big impact for the community. The last thing is that it makes fiscal sense. It's really important. Everyone knows that tax dollars went up this year, and that's something that we're all facing. I'm facing, right? So each dollar that we as supervisors are spending is your dollars. So it's really important to me as a supervisor that when we make those decisions, I'm being a good steward for your money. Thank you.
Ms. Heim Peter, what are the 2 or 3 core principles you would apply when making decisions and voting on issues before the county board?
Thank you. So, as a collaborative leader, I value shared decision making and expanding our own perspectives through discussion, curiosity, and mutual respect. So, with that, I have been reaching out to constituents through, they can get a hold of me through email or postcards. I've been leaving my number at the door kind of thing. So, people can always reach out to me. And I want to hear from people on how they go about and feel about an issue. That being said, I also would bring, you said 2 to 3 core issues. I would also bring just my experience as a government worker as well. So I understand and am passionate about the grinding gears of government. And so bringing some of those experiences, not only from my leadership and from reaching out to the constituents to hear from them, asking hard questions of our department heads as well, and hearing, what goals and objectives that they want to reach. So working together and again, collaborating. And then, yeah, thank you.
Mr. Rockwell, what are 2 or 3 core principles you would apply when making decisions and voting on issues before the county board?
Thank you. What my biggest thing is to listen. It's always to listen. To have those conversations at the coffee shop, to sit down and actually listen to the older and younger people that have different ideas. I think that communication, talking, is huge. When we were my first WCA convention, I was told that I should be a visionary for the county for the next 20 years to see where it's going to be and where it's going to go. Not just to make our decisions for today. So a visionary would be part of that. And then the human resources part is the people that work for the county are a bunch of fantastic people. I've stopped at pretty much every office and have thanked all of them for what they do. And I really think that the people of the county could be brought up in a way that they would feel maybe possibly just a little bit better about going to work every day. My mom worked for HHS for 34 years, and I know that she didn't enjoy working there every day of her career, and it could have been a little bit better. So I would really would like to see that happen. I know that people are feeling missed and not appreciated. So my approaches are always hands-on. So thank you.
Thank you. Question number 5, we'll start with Mr. Shaw. Should the county government promote the use of environmentally sound practices in the public and private sectors? And please explain.
Thank you so much. Yes, the county should absolutely make sure that it is taking steps to strengthen our environmental strategies. You've all heard me talk about that. That is one of the pillars of why I am running. We live in the most beautiful place in the world, y'all. I feel so lucky to get to live here. I wake up, I cross the bridge as I take my son over to Sawyer School. The sun comes up and I see that water. I mentioned my son and I mentioned the water because those two things are really important to me. I want to make sure that this county is as beautiful for him as it is for all of us. We don't do enough as a county. We have one of the weakest environmental strategies in the state of Wisconsin. We have a karst soil that contaminants seep through, and where do they go? They go directly into our groundwater, which leads to the bay, which leads to the lake, which ultimately I don't want it to, but it eventually will lead back to all of us. So yes, it is really important that we start taking care of this. On top of the water issue, there's also these forever chemicals that are going on, these PFAS that are going on that we don't know what it's going to be. Again, I mentioned my 8-year-old several times. I want to make sure that we are being stewards of this land to make sure that when he's in his mid-30s and he wants to sit up here, he doesn't have to fight to make sure that our land is being kept clean. I want to leave a legacy behind that we have been good stewards of this land, that we were responsible for this land, that we cared about this land. Thank you.
Ms. Heim Peter, should the county government promote the use of environmentally sound practices in the public and private sectors, and please explain.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I don't know where to start. I live and breathe environment. So my day job, I work for the Department of Natural Resources. And so we facilitate this amazing environmental stewardship ethic. I am also married to an incredible small business owner who grows microgreens and sells native plants at the farmer's market. So if you've ever gotten a plant from Grow Door County, I think rewilding the county, like that's the mission of his business that he started shortly after COVID. And it's what we live and breathe in our family. Is environmentalism. We hit crossroads often. We are looking for places to go fishing, which I heard from constituents and realized myself, shore fishing is hard. So I think access to the environment that we're trying to be good stewards of and protect forever is another thing that the county can could be evaluating. Money is lawn maintenance and chemicals and things is also it's a investment. So I think a money saver for the county would also be evaluating their chemical and fertilizer usage at parks and facility areas. Staff and machine time are also expensive as they're mowing lawns. So if there are parks, we talked about some areas of like LaSalle, and there might be some county parks where some of that what is currently mowed could be rewild. So I think there's a lot of things that the county could do. Yes, absolutely for water, but also as we think about our natural landscapes and our environment as well. Thank you.
Mr. Rockwell, should the county government promote the use of environmentally sound practices in the public and private sectors, and please explain?
Yes, definitely should be. The environment is the way to go. We got to keep it clean. It's just the way that it is. It's real. If we don't take care of it, it's not going to take care of us. That's just a fact. Business has to run, though. They have to run, and they have to keep their own stuff clean. They have to find better ways to get their stuff done and recycle their batteries, and just continue with the finding better ways of doing business. Our county has 53 beaches, and we have the most shore frontage out of any other county in the United States. And I think that we have to protect every bit of that. I mean, no one else has what we have. No one. So I think it's in our best interest, especially for Door County. I mean, we are all about outdoor in the summer. I just caution the government to be involved in big things with the environment, just because of the Forestville Dam situation that we've had. I think that really needs to be really looked at in a different manner and started over with that project in a proper way. But that way, I'm not sure what it is. but we have to be responsible with the stuff that we're already doing. So thank you.
Mrs. Austad Labott, should the county government promote the use of environmentally sound practices in the public and private sectors? And please explain what you mean by that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all agree that we need to be involved. We need to protect our county. We need to protect our resources, our water, our environment, our land use. It's why we live here. It's why people come here to visit. It's a super important aspect of this county, and it definitely needs to be protected.
Thank you. Now we're on to question number 6, and we will start with Ms. Heim Peter. How can the county address the childcare crisis?
Yeah, thank you. I thank you for this question. So the childcare crisis, okay, I have an 8-year-old as well. So he was 2 in COVID, and we were families at the Barker Center when the Y had to make a very hard choice and close. So we stepped into this. It's kind of how I started getting involved in the community. We had been here a couple of years, but finding yourself without childcare and having 2 parents that are working full time, that was it was stressful. It was COVID and it was a mess. So how do we fix childcare? So I am very aware of the childcare issues. I was proud to participate in the United Way's childcare committees at that time, and I've continued that work. I was proud to be involved with the transition at the centers. I've been in the childcare settings. I understand those, what those families are going through. And with our second one, we actually pivoted, and he's been in a beautiful in-home with a family that just loves him to pieces. So I also can understand and navigate the in-home childcare and how the supply is not there. So I think the county, though, again, is not an inventor of a wheel. I don't think that the county government is one that should be coming up with these programs or, dictating what the solution is for the community, but we certainly can step up and be using our shared resources to be providing for, again, that workforce and the folks that we rely on to be here and help us. Thank you.
Mr. Rockwell, same question. How can the county address the childcare crisis?
The county, thank you for the question. The county addressing the child care crisis. Where I would start, and this is the way that it goes, is $7.25 an hour for minimum wage, right? That's what we pay, or that's what people get paid. I don't understand how people can even come close to paying for any of that affordable stuff anyway at those wages. We have a wage problem. So I think that would be one of my, if I could actually do something about any of it, I think that that's where I would go. In order to make what we make today from back in 1970, we would have to have $66 an hour to be made to make the same as what we made in 1970. Same thing, cost of living. We don't make $66 an hour. Nobody in Door County makes $66 an hour. The workers anyway. It starts there, and I hate the trickle down, but that's what it is. I mean, if people could afford it, I think it would be a little bit easier, and I think that we can do something about that. Thank you.
Mrs. Austad Labott, how can the county address the child care crisis?
Yeah, there is a child care crisis in Door County. And I do believe what the county board needs to do is be able to, again, do policies and procedures to support childcare. We definitely don't want to get involved with childcare, but there definitely can be stuff that we can do to encourage people to open in-house childcare, open daycare centers. of that sort. And I think that's how the county needs to get involved for that.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw, how can the county address the childcare crisis?
Oh, excuse me. Thank you so much. I want to start by acknowledging some of the wonderful work that's been done in the area of childcare in this county. We do have some wonderful things that have happened over the last few years. I also have had a son. My son we struggled with his daycare when he was 1, 2, 3. At a lot of ages we struggled with daycare for him. But what we've seen is we have seen some expansion with getting the Door County Child Care Center back up and running, as well as the expansions to what they offer at the YMCA. So I want to make sure that we acknowledge some of the big things that we've done, because I'm really proud of the people who have worked to make those happen. I think there are a couple things that we as a county are able to do. I would love to continue to explore public-private partnerships to see if there are things in our areas that we as a county government are able to support these important workers. I also think the biggest thing, well, one of the biggest things outside of wages that is keeping people from staying in these jobs is bringing it back to housing. People don't have a place to stay that they can afford while having a job that they're not making much money in. Something's got to give there. We're not going to attract people if they don't have a place to stay. We're also not going to attract them if we can't pay them a fair livable wage. So I think it's important that we continue to explore those things and find ways that we can actually directly help make sure that we get solutions. Thank you.
Okay, we're now at question 7, and we'll be starting with Mr. Rockwell. This is kind of a long question. The Door County Museum and Archives currently lacks basic operational space, offices, workshop for creating and maintaining exhibits, and adequate archival storage. And those needs have gone unresolved despite years of planning with different designs that were all ultimately deemed too costly. With the current plan to rehab the Yonkers building, would you vote to move forward if it meets the county's budget expectations? And if you choose not to support it, what is your plan to ensure that the museum can meet its operational and long-term needs?
Thank you for the short question. That was very nice. The museum that's happens to be in my district, so it's one of my things that I watch. I would imagine whoever wrote that question probably knows that I do watch that project. What happens with the museum is they need the space. They need the space for all the stuff that they say they have, which I don't know what it is right now. I don't have a list of that. They never gave me a list, so I'm not really sure as to what that is. But right now, the way that it stands is they have a basement that they use in the library. That what the problem was is that there's too much humidity. That's fine. We can fix that. The building at Yonkers, they had to go through 10 different sets of plans to find one that would build that out. That means 9 other ones didn't want to use that building. So there's something with it. The way that I would fix it is take the $3.5 million project that they had scheduled for the backside, not scheduled, planned for the backside, and attach it to the museum itself. We don't need 2 separate buildings that are going to take. It takes too much manpower. So I just I don't see how that's going to help when there's nobody going to be there. It's just the verbiage, the way that it's coming out right now, isn't right. So pay attention to that project, please. Thank you.
Mrs. Austad Labott, the Door County Museum and Archives currently lacks basic operational space, offices, workshop for creating and maintaining exhibits, and adequate archival storage. And those needs have gone unresolved despite years of planning with different designs that were all ultimately deemed too costly. With the current plan to rehab the Yonkers building, would you vote to move forward if it meets the county's budget expectation? And if you choose not to support it, what is your plan to ensure the museum can meet its operational and long-term needs?
I would 100% support this project. Costs aren't going down. Things aren't getting cheaper. We need to build something and build something now. This is our history. This is about our county. These are records that need to be kept and kept in a safe place. So 100 years from now, we are not losing those records and those valuables. So, what needs to be done? I agree with Phil. You don't want to operate two separate buildings. That's just not cost effective. So I would support it, making sure that it is cost effective, but also looking at trying to preserve our history of our county, which I think is very near and dear to every one of our hearts.
Mr. Shaw, the Door County Museum and Archives currently lack basic operational space, offices, workshop space for creating and maintaining exhibits, and adequate archival storage. And those needs have gone unresolved despite years of planning with current different designs that were all ultimately deemed too costly. With the current plan to rehab the Yonkers building, would you vote to move forward if it meets the county's budget expectations? And if you choose not to support it, what is your plan to ensure the museum can meet its operational and long-term needs?
Thank you so much for the question. I'll start with a simple yes. Yes, I would support the museum and archives project. A little backstory, Wisconsin has some really cool history with history. We were, I believe, the fourth historic society. Wisconsin's historic society was the fourth historic society in the country. It's one of the oldest ones in the entire country. And we have a precedent for doing that. So continuing to support history is always going to be important. I'm going to make sure that if I can, yes, I'm going to be a yes vote on that. Obviously, it's important that we make sure that it makes financial sense. This project has been in the works for 7 years, I believe, and the can does keep getting kicked. It's important that we get this project done. I don't know who else said it, but to someone else's point, building expenses aren't getting cheaper, and the longer we wait, the more expensive this project is going to become. So the time to act on this project is now. One of the things that I want to explore before we are done with this project completely is pushing us to make sure that we, as a county, push some of the nonprofits to see if there's areas to explore some partnerships. When this project was originally envisioned, it was envisioned as an over $8 million project. That's a little bloated for our county budget. We can all agree with that. But there's also some deep pockets in this county, and I would be really interested in finding some creative solutions so we don't just have to have a museum project that is, yes, meeting the standards of what we need, but can be something that we are proud of, that we're excited to have, and could be something that can be an economic boom to Sturgeon Bay. Thank you.
Ms. Heim, Peter. The Door County Museum and Archives currently lacks basic operational space, offices, workshop space for creating and maintaining exhibits, and adequate archival storage. And those needs have gone unresolved despite years of planning with different designs that were all ultimately deemed too costly. With the current plan to rehab the Yonkers building, would you vote to move forward if it meets the county's budget expectations? And if you choose not to support it, what is your plan to ensure the museum can meet its operational and long-term needs?
Thank you. Yes, I was be a vote for the Museum and Archives project to expand and use some part or the designs of the Yonkers building. The project is a solid in foundation. The Museum and Archives needs more room, as was mentioned, for storage and display. I've been in there with Jackson a handful of times. It's one of the greatest indoor rainy day activities you can do with a kid. So please check it out. And when we're talking about no space and no offices, we're talking about a closet for a director's office. We're talking about a basement that is packed, packed to the gills. So I've been in there and I've looked around and I've gotten a tour of the basement where they're storing, and I have our people deserve this space. Our history deserves this space. And I agree with a lot of what was already said, but that downtown corner and the positioning of it, I think is beautiful. And if I had my way, it would be this like beautiful corner lot, right? And it's a good transition between the county government and the library, and then the city government building. I mean, you could make that whole corridor just beautiful right downtown in our district. So again, budgets are priorities, and we would definitely need to make fiscal sense, and it would need to, we would not, I would not be comfortable infringing on not being able to provide other required services, but certainly a project this meaningful and this once in a lifetime opportunity, I think Door County can do some really great things. And again, that collaboration, finding partnership and shared funding projects. The Maritime Museum has found a space as well. So maybe there was some partnership there. Thank you.
Mrs. Austad Labott, question 8, we'll start with you. What other issues should be balanced when considering development?
Well, environmental impact, financial. I think we also have to look at development and how much is enough and not too much. We need to balance it. We are a county with pretty much water on all sides. And I think we need to take that into a look when we do that.
Mr. Shaw, same question. What other issues should be balanced when considering development?
Thank you so much for the question. Yeah, the environment. That absolutely, I mean, I feel like I'm a broken record, y'all, but I do talk about it a lot. The environmental impacts when it comes to any development, to me, is one of the most important places that we have to start. Making sure that it makes sense where it is, how it is, why it is, right? We've had projects that we've had filled in lake beds. We know what happens when that happens. There's issues, right? So I want to make sure that when we're making those kind of decisions with development, again, we're thinking not just about 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. We have to make sure that we're thinking with a long-term view of things. So that includes the environment, but that also includes the impact that it's going to have. Any development that we have, is it going to be worthwhile to have that there? Do we have the need for that there? So with all of these things, I want to make sure that we're having a broad approach and how I am looking at things. Thank you.
Ms. Heim, Peter, if you should be balanced when considering development in the county.
Thank you. I think the development, it depends on the kind of development that you're talking about. So housing development, I think we can all agree there needs to be some work there. But again, we should be looking at what we already have, and maybe it's not new development, but it's redevelopment. We are looking at parcels that might be on the tax roll, or might need to come back into the tax roll because maybe they could be redeveloped. There's all kinds of money available for redevelopment and re-beautifying areas. So I think that is something to weigh. Not is it new development, but is it something that we can sort of fill in where we already are, kind of thing. I think anything that serves any developments, keeping in mind young families and having access to resources, indoor activities for snow days. A lot of parents in the crowd. Okay, so yeah, so just indoor activities around the county and smart development that makes sense, absolutely. But when we're talking about sensitive landscapes, absolutely the environment needs to be balanced with that. So, and then again, who the developers are and what kind of financing they can get and stuff. So thank you.
Mr. Rockwell, what other issues should be balanced when considering development in the
Well, we have to look at the long term when we do this. When I grew up there, the amount of condos being built around the county were next to none. We had some pretty cute little grocery stores and a lot of little mom and pop shops. So the development has happened and it's going to continue happening no matter what we do about it. It's going to happen, but it can happen smart. It can happen in places where it's proper to be built. It doesn't need to be exactly on the bluff, maybe, but maybe 100 yards back so that it doesn't take away from the natural beauty of our county. Our county is a natural treasure. I mean, it's a treasure. So I really think that, like what was said already, depends on what kind of development, but it's the most development that would be the one that I would watch would be the condo situation, just because of the amount of things that have gone up and the way that they look. I think that people could take a little bit longer and make it more. I don't know. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, question number 9, we'll start with you, Mr. Shaw. What are your feelings about the balance between state and local control?
Thank you so much for the question. Just want to make sure I write it down. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's a lot that the county does that is impacted by the state. I don't think that many people actually think about the county's involvement in the state government, or the state's involvement rather in the counties of government. So we really are ostensibly an arm of the state government. So to pretend that we don't have a relationship with the state would be to lie. So we do have a relationship with the state. What does this mean? This means that when the state is passing or not passing budgets, we as a county are going to be impacted by that. So I think it's important that we are aware as supervisors of what's going on in the state, that we have good relationships with our legislators, with Representative Kitchens, Senator Jacques, or their opponents in the upcoming elections, making sure that we're connected with them. So we as supervisors are also connecting and making sure that we are also being a voice in Madison. I think that's really important. I've learned a lot over my time at the Wisconsin Counties Association's conferences that I've gone to about connecting to different folks. I've had opportunities to meet and talk with different state legislators and things like that. So I want to make sure that I am a representative, not just for the county, but when I have those opportunities to speak with folks at the state level, that I'm bringing your voices to them. Thank you.
Ms. Heim Peter, what are your feelings about the balance between state and local control?
Thank you. So my first term on county board, I served on the legislative committee, which was a longstanding committee that isn't around anymore. But essentially, the committee work was focused on monitoring what the state legislature was doing, or what other counties and municipalities, what issues they were facing, and then working on legislation to propose up to the state or to support legislation. So I think that work is really important in order, when Madison works, we do have some control and we earn some input, and there is value put on what county board resolutions and things like that. So I think the county board members paying attention to those issues, being open-minded through considering those resolutions and things, there's that really dynamic relationship there. I mentioned in my day job that I work for the state. I work for the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, and in a previous life there was really involved with septage haulers and pout systems. So I'm maybe not so much in the city, but countywide, our pouts program, we need to be checking up on our failing systems, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of areas there is local control that is set by, parameters by the state. So there's this interplay and navigating that, and finding where we can leverage our local influence is one of my, I'm very passionate about it. So thank you.
Mr. Rockwell, what are your feelings about the balance between state and local control?
State and local control. Thank you for the question. One thing that I do know is that they do need to work together in order to get things done. The people that work for the state and the county work for the citizens of Wisconsin and Door County. I think that that they need to remember, all of the politicians need to remember that we do work for the people, and we need to less government, I guess, control over the population. I don't know if this is going to make sense, but less government, and I guess I'm gonna skip this question. I really don't. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Austad Labott, what are your feelings about the balance between state and local control?
Well, I think as county board, we are an arm of the state, like I think Ryan said. So I think being on the county board, it's our duty to be listening to our constituents and making sure that we're taking their concerns and we're voting on the county level about their concerns, but we're also bringing it to the state level. So the state is also aware of the concerns. And I think as a county board, that's what we need to do.
Okay, thank you. Candidates, this will be our last question, and we will start with Ms. Heim Peter. What responsibility does a county supervisor have for communication with district residents?
Yeah, thank you. I take responsibility of reaching out to residents and hearing from them very seriously. I was fumbling over it earlier, but what I was trying to say is that people, I hope, reach out to me, my email or phone. We've been knocking doors the last couple of weeks and hearing from constituents. If I were to be elected, and I think holding regular coffee clutches would be a great idea. We have some great coffee shops in our district and nearby. Social nights at other establishments, but where people are, I want to meet them there. And sometimes that means kitchen table talks. I had a nice sit down with a constituent the other day. Or we also have, my boys left, but we have a pretty prominent yard on Michigan. So if you see us out working or playing with the boys, it's pretty common for folks to be stopping by, playing in the yard, hanging out. So we have what we call then an open yard policy. So if we're out and about, we're hanging out, please stop by, say hi. The kids do get priority. It's their yard too. But if you want to say hi or have a chat, I think that it's, we have a very open and we want to be talking with people. I think it's a huge responsibility to be communicating. So if there's issues that come up, I also have a Facebook page where I try to post agendas and stuff. So thanks.
Mr. Rockwell, what responsibility does a county supervisor have for communication with district residents?
Good question. Thank you very much. The responsibility we have is to all of them. I mean, that's why we're there, is because of the people that are our constituents that want us to do what they want, and we need to listen to that. We need to be engaged with them, like was said about coffee shops and sit downs, and we need to have communication. The best way, I think, too, would be to get some of our people that don't come to the meetings and don't listen to the meetings or don't watch the meetings to start doing that. Some information about how to do that and when they're on. I also do the Facebook thing. My big thing is I want people to watch. I don't want to be the one to have to watch for them. I wish that I could have more people doing it in my district, so that we could be stronger and more heard. I really do think that it's our responsibility to be clear and open with every one of them. So, thank you.
Mrs. Austad Labott, what responsibility does a county supervisor have for communication with district residents?
I think as a county supervisor, it is your job, your duty, your position to communicate with all constituents, not necessarily just your district, for all county. I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I do see a lot of people on a daily basis. And I do communicate with them and I hear their concerns, I hear their voices. I also feel that everybody communicates differently. We have people that like to use phones. We like people that like to do emails. We like people that like Facebook, text, whatever. So I think as county board person, you truly do need to look at that person and how best to communicate with them, because not everybody communicates in the same form. So you got to figure that out with your constituents and communicate with them that way.
Mr. Shaw, what responsibility does the county supervisor have for communication with district residents?
Thank you so much for the question. I think that supervisors communicating and being in contact with their constituents is one of the single most important things that we do. We are hired when you vote for us to do a job. That's the job of the supervisor. You say, I want this person to serve. That person then gets to serve at the leisure of the constituents, right? So I think that's one of the most single important things that supervisors can do. I also view the constituents as one of the arms of government. They're not just a passive player in government, they're part of it. We've had some wonderful things that have happened because of constituents in this community, the steel bridge being one of them. So constituents are of utmost importance. Now, some of the basics, what it comes down to, yes, I like to make sure I check my emails each week. I email folks back. I make sure I'm available on my phone to talk to people. I love to talk to my constituents. One of my favorite things is when constituents have things that they're excited to talk about, and I go, can we stop this on the phone, or can we stop this by email? I'm just going to come over. Let's meet at a coffee shop. I love meeting face to face with people. We don't do enough of that. So anytime that I'm able to get myself in the same room with my constituent, I'm going to understand you better. You're going to understand me better, and we're going to have an opportunity to have more success. So yeah, thank you.
So we're at the point
Yes.
in the forum where the candidates will now have up to 2 minutes to make their closing remarks. And we will start with Mr. Ron.
That was me.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Blip. Thank you. Thank you to the League of Women Voters and to everyone here tonight. This election isn't about politics, it's about people. It's about the families, small business, and taxpayers who expect their money to be used wisely. Over the past 2 years, I've worked with being practical, common sense approach to the county board, asking questions, paying attention to spending, and focusing on responsible decisions. Because every dollar we spend comes from someone who worked hard for it. I won't promise things I can't deliver, but I will continue to show up, do the work, and make the decisions based on what's right. Door County's home. It's where I was raised. It's where I'm raising my family, and I care deeply about keeping it affordable and strong for the people who live here. If you're looking for someone who will stay grounded, ask tough questions, do the work, and respect your tax dollars, I'll be honored to work for you. Thank you.
Ms. Austad Labott.
Thank you. I think knowledge to the area is very important, and having lived here almost all my life, I think gives me that knowledge. I also feel that my experience and my knowledge from my businesses gives me the information needed for this position. I'm going to listen to all constituents, not just District 9, but everybody. I think everybody's opinion matters. And I'm going to use that information to make well-informed decisions for the county as a whole. It's not just about District 9 again, it's about our county, and we want to make this a place that we can all work, live, and play in. So again, thank you to the League of Women Voters, and remember to vote April 7th.
Mr. Shaw.
Thank you again to the League of Women Voters, the other candidates, and to everyone who came out tonight. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have had this conversation with you. I'm running for re-election because I care deeply about this community and the people who live here. This is my home, where I'm raising my family and where I do my work, and I take that responsibility seriously. Over the past few years, I've worked hard to listen, to be accessible, to make thoughtful decisions that reflect what I'm hearing from residents. That means supporting services that people rely on, being responsible with taxpayer dollars, and keeping an eye on the long-term health of our community. Door County deserves leadership that is going to fight for a cleaner environment, housing for residents, and dignity for all who live here. I promise that I will fight for these things, and I will continue to listen to what is most important to you. I would be honored to earn your vote on April 7th and to continue to serve this community that we all love so much. Thank you.
Ms. Heim Peter.
Thank you. Thank you to the Door County League of Women Voters for coordinating the forum and providing a space for candidates to discuss these important issues with constituents. Thank you to the many constituents who have made it out tonight and those who are watching online. Thank you to the county employees who made this job so much fun the first time around. And thank you to my campaign donors and volunteers that have supported our ground game these last few weeks. And most importantly, all my love and thanks to my boys for the understanding, push, and support to do this again. Community, collaboration, accountability. The Door County Sturgeon Bay community has given me so much, and I feel so fortunate to give back. I have been fortunate to intersect with helpers and neighbors across generations that are activated to make our community a better place for everyone. From 2019 to 2024, I served on county board and many committees. I know the work, and I'm excited if I could serve again. I am running again for county board to collaborate with the other board members and county staff for reliable public services, for security in our community, for the neighbors that care about each other and want to see everyone do better, and for all of us to feel secure expressing ourselves, for feeling a sense of pride for where we live and how we treat one another. I am running again because I know we can do better and because experience and leadership matters when it comes to making informed decisions that affect families, businesses, and future generations. Being accountable to the people means showing up prepared and informed. We are not going to always agree on approach and on every decision that is made, but our shared experience is bigger than any one thing. And I run to be accountable to the people, to thinking about the unique places, diverse landscapes, and shared character across Door County. Thank you for your consideration, and I hope to earn your vote on April 7th.
Okay, thank you, candidates. You are invited to remain for a few minutes after the forum so the public can meet and visit with you personally. Not sure how we would handle that with Mr. Rockwell, but we'll figure out something if you want to stay on.
I'm here.
Thank you, audience and viewers. We hope this forum has been helpful to you as a voter. Remember, the general election is on Tuesday, April 7th. Current voter and election information can be found at myvote.wi.gov. There you can access information about voter registration, update your name or address, and learn about absentee voting, polling locations, and what's on your ballot. Also, we'd like to invite you to attend the League's Lively issue on April 15th at Right On Door County. And also just a reminder that the League of Women Voters is not just for women. Men are encouraged to join as well. We hope to see some of you at the Lively issues. Lively Issues is our annual open to the public event where you can share issues of interest and concern. Times and specifics will be at the lwvdoorcounty.org website. Thanks to all of you for attending and participating. Please let others know they can view this forum at our website, lwvdoorcounty.org, or on Sturgeon Bay School District webpage. Again, thank you, candidates, and please join me in a round of applause for all the candidates.